Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are our top stories.
I left that meeting feeling that General Shibiri was firstly trying to find out what evidence we had that linked the suspects to the murder and how strong our case was at the time.
Witness A has told the Madlanga Commission that an investigation into the April 17, 2024 murder of engineer Armand Swart initially led to 3 arrests.
There is no direct evidence that links him to it. Marlene Friend herself said in open court, she said there's no smoking gun here.
The defense in the case against Vusimuzi Madlanga has maintained that the interest of justice permits his release on bail. And the identification of the victims of the bus crash on the N1 near Louis Trichardt in Limpopo last week Sunday is continuing at the Siloam Hospital. It has just gone 8 o'clock. Good evening and a warm welcome to Prime News on 3. My name is Paulette Nell. Great to be in your company this evening. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with this. The Madlanga Commission has heard that organized crime head Major General Richard Shibiri allegedly attempted to bait or influence the investigation team probing the murder of Vereeniging engineer Armand Swart into taking a bribe. This as Witness A detective assigned to the murder of Swart, detailed the alleged interference into the hit allegedly ordered by alleged Big Five cartel member Katiso Molefe. The Commission continues to probe allegations of criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system.
Witness A, an organized crime detective assigned to investigations implicating alleged criminal cartels, has given evidence that his senior, Major General Richard Shiburu, allegedly interfered in their probe into the murder of Vereeniging engineer Armand Swart that initially implicated former cop Michael Puletau, Musa Kekana and Diego Floyd Mabusela in the hit, allegedly ordered by Katiso Molefe.
In my view, even though he did not expressly say so, I left that meeting feeling that General Shibiri was firstly trying to find out what evidence we had that linked the suspects to the murder and how strong our case was at the time. And secondly, to bait us to see if we could be influenced, hence the reference to the envelopes being available.
Swart was gunned down in a hail of bullets on the 17th of April 2024 in a reported mistaken identity after his employer blew the whistle on alleged price inflation in a Transnet contract. Witness A laid down a trail of evidence days before the murder, which seemingly places Molefe at the center of the alleged hit.
It will be a call record that was that shows that on the 12th of April 2024, that is 5 days before the murder, Michael Puletau received a call from Mr. Katiso Molefe 11:38. And then the duration of the call was 119 seconds. And then Michael Puletau makes a call to Molefe at 11:43, which was a duration of 14 seconds. And then Michael Puletau arrives at Molefe's house in 16 minutes.
The hearing continues. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
The defense in the case against Vusimuzi Madlanga has maintained that the interest of justice permits his release on bail. Madlanga has headed to the High Court sitting in Johannesburg to appeal the decision by the Alexandra Magistrates Court to deny him bail. He is accused of attempting to kill his former partner, Tebogo Tobejane, in October 2023.
Vusimuzi Madlanga is allegedly the mastermind who paid gunmen who are his co-accused to attempt to kill his former partner, Tebogo Tobejane. He has continuously denied that the money paid to the accused was for the shooting, saying it was for funeral arrangements.
There is no direct evidence that links him to it. My own friend herself said, in open court, she said, there's no smoking gun here. All we rely on is circumstantial evidence. And yes, there have been convictions on circumstantial evidence, but it gets a bit much, my lord. When there's so many cases and everything is relying purely on circumstantial evidence.
The defense has argued that the Alexandra Magistrates Court applied the wrong schedule for the matter when deciding on bail. Both the defense and the state have conceded that it falls under Schedule 5 and not Schedule 6. Magistrate Saida Prinsloo had previously maintained that Madlanga would interfere with witnesses. The state has argued that the cell phone, which was found in his possession while in prison, and his falsified Eswatini identity card prove this.
That cell phone in prison is a means to communicate to the outside world. And that is a risk to the state's witnesses. That is a major risk, as it is, my lord, by the very nature of these crimes. These witnesses are in fear for their lives.
The state has told the court that once centralization of other dockets is complete, Madlanga would face 11 charges of attempted murder. Madlanga's legal team has proposed bail of 100,000 rand and house arrest. Judgment has been reserved. Neria Hlakutsa, SABC News, Johannesburg.
To this now, former apartheid-era Deputy Minister of Education Samuel de Beer has told the Gqeberha High Court that there was a strong disagreement between his department and the State Security Council over how to address growing unrest in Cradock schools in 1985. De Beer, who served between 1984 and 1987, testified virtually at the inquest into the murders of anti-apartheid activists Matthew Goniwe, Fort Kalata, Spero Mkonto and Mhlauli, known as the Cradock Four. The four were killed on their way from Gqeberha to Cradock in June 1985 amid rising resistance against apartheid in the town.
And I promised at a public meeting that I held in Cradock that I would do everything in my power to look at the conditions of life in Lingelisle and also to improve the situation in the schools. So there was a different viewpoint on how this matter should be dealt with. There can be no doubt about it. And my viewpoint was the reinstatement of Goniwe was part of the solution. Apparently, the security people's viewpoint was that he should be removed.
Welcome back. The identification of the victims of the bus crash on the N1 near Louis Trichardt in Limpopo last week, Sunday, is continuing at the Sloan Hospital. 43 people died and 5 of the injured are still in a critical condition at various hospitals in the Vembe district. The overloaded bus carrying a total of 91 people, including 3 drivers, crashed at the Chambuzi Valley, 15 kilometers north of Louis Trichardt. It was en route to Zimbabwe and Malawi. Investigations by the Road Traffic Management Corporation revealed that the bus was not roadworthy and only 5 of its 10 brakes were functioning. Postmortems are still being concluded at the Sloan Hospital. Bereaved families have also gathered to identify the bodies of their loved ones. To this now, the Democratic Alliance is pushing for structural economic reforms at the scraping of a broad-based black economic empowerment. DA Federal Chairperson Dr. Ivan Meyers says BEE is an ideological policy that is holding the country back. The party has introduced an economic inclusion for all bill that seeks to repeal the country's procurement laws.
Now presents the
DA has accused the ANC of introducing crude race-based policies. DA head of policy Matthew Cuthbert says the ANC continues to introduce a red tape that cuts ordinary South Africans off economic activity.
Our Economic Inclusion Bill for All seeks to amend the Public Procurement Amendment Act of 2024 to repeal all race-based preferential procurement provisions and replace them with real empowerment system that targets poverty as a proxy for disadvantage instead of race.
The DA's Economic Inclusion for All bill seeks to replace broad-based black economic empowerment, whilst changing the public procurement measures currently in place.
Perhaps the most notorious example of this disastrous policy is the 54 billion rand locomotive procurement scandal, which was investigated by the Zondo Commission into state capture, which revealed just the extent of how political connections enable widespread corruption and looting.
The DA's Economic Inclusion Bill quietly removes ownership, management control and equity participation, with the very pillars of BEE that attempt to shift structural power in the economy for those who were previously disadvantaged. Samkele Masego, SABC News, Johannesburg.
The ANC held its much-anticipated bilateral meeting with the Trade Union Federation COSATU today. The two alliance partners discussed the ANC's economic action plan before it is adopted as government policy, the state of the alliance and the National Democratic Revolution, and the preparations for the 2026 local government elections.
We are holding this bilateral, which has been long overdue, in COSATU House, and we are welcomed by the officials, or office bearers as they call them in COSATU, national office bearers of COSATU. We are truly honored to be welcomed in this way.
Alliance partners, the ANC and COSATU, gathered under one roof. Relations between the two dates back to the struggle years. The issues on the table included taking stock of the state of the alliance and deliberations on the socio-economic transformation of the country. Leaving nothing to chance, the ANC wants to further cement its relations with COSATU, especially after the decision by another member of the alliance, the SACP, to contest next year's elections independently.
We are here at COSATU House, both the substance and the symbolism of renewed efforts at strengthening the revolutionary alliance that we've enjoyed over the many decades of struggle.
The largest labor federation says this bilateral meeting comes at a crucial time.
It's a chance for us to reflect on the state of government, state of public services, municipal services. How can we improve them? How can we really help deliver that better life for working class communities? It's a chance for us also to raise concerns about the performance of the economy. A high unemployment rate, high poverty rates. What can we do to protect vulnerable businesses? What can we do to give more relief to workers, to create jobs, to get the economy moving?
SABC News, Johannesburg.
Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Dada Morero, has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to restoring order, cleanliness and economic vitality as a part of the ongoing inner city revitalization project. Morero says while they accept that progress has been made, illegal trading and obstruction of public spaces are challenges which persist.
Therefore, our enforcement operations will therefore continue and should not be seen as a punitive measure, but as a restorative measure to ensure that we can maintain safety and law and order within our city. We are committing ourselves to the maintenance of law and order. Between the 2nd and the 5th of October, we implemented operations in De Villiers Precinct covering streets between King George, Klein, Sophie de Bruin, and Wanderers. These areas are designated as prohibited trading zones under the city's bylaw.
Thank you for staying with us. To this now, education authorities in KwaZulu-Natal say it's all systems go ahead of the start of matric exams tomorrow. Over 195,000 grade 12 learners will sit for their finals in the province. This is an increase of about 3% from the class of 2024.
The province has the largest cohorts of matriculants in the country. And again, education officials are aiming high, hoping to obtain a 95% pass rate in this year's matric exam. Last year, KwaZulu-Natal obtained a pass rate of 89.5%, which was an improvement of just over 3% on the previous year. This earned the province the second spot nationally.
In KZN, we once had a challenge, especially of those austeric measures, that the money is not there, that some of, things that needs to be there in schools were not there. But because our teachers work beyond the call of duty, we are 100% that our learners will do it.
We are convinced that our schools in particular are ready to administer these examinations. Yes, it has been a very difficult year in terms of supporting the schools, but our teachers always soldier on.
The department says it has put in place strict measures to ensure the smooth running of the examinations.
We have employed more monitors across the province because we don't want any learner that will pass on the basis of cheating. If they cheat, that means the credibility and the integrity of our result will be questioned.
On Tuesday, learners will sit for their first paper. Simpiwe Makanya, SABC News, Durban.
And now here's the latest market update as at 7:20 this evening. We're going to have to park it here for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. The latest weather forecast is coming up next. For now, it's good night. God bless.
Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at what to expect weather-wise for tonight as well as tomorrow. Clear skies over the western as well as the southern parts of the country. Otherwise, it will be partly cloudy this evening over the central, northeastern as well as the eastern parts with a broad band of isolated showers and thunder showers mainly scattered over the southern parts of the northwest and in places over Limpopo. Now, tomorrow starting off with early morning fog patches along the eastern, southeastern as well as the southern escarpment, expecting those fog patches to reduce visibility to less than 1 kilometer in places. So please do take caution if you are driving early tomorrow morning and do keep a safe following distance. It will be clear skies over the southern parts of the country. Otherwise, partly cloudy conditions over the central, northern and northeastern parts. And we do expect showers and thunder showers over the northeastern parts of the Northern Cape into the northwest Gauteng, southern parts of Limpopo, becoming some drizzle along that northeastern escarpment. Now, for this evening, South African Weather Service warning of severe thunderstorms, a yellow level 4 warning in places over the northwest, becoming a yellow level 2 over the northwestern parts of the Free State into the northeastern parts of the Northern Cape. Now, those storms possibly resulting in heavy downpours of rain, strong damaging winds, large amounts of small hail or excessive lightning. Tomorrow, high fire danger conditions over the extreme western parts of the Northern Cape as well as the Western Cape, where runaway veld fires are possible. Overnight temperatures sink down to 14, 11 in George, 13 is your overnight low in East London, peaking at 24. It will be a cool day in Bethlehem with 22, 21 in Lephalale, 24 is your maximum in Mahikeng, a warm day in Vryburg and Musina with 25, warm in Appington with a high of 31. That's your weather. To stay tuned to SABC News.